KJND, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We have Miss Pat, our co-host. Let's get in some front page news. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, family. Good morning, everybody.
Is back this morning, and let's get it started. Your president addressed the nation. He was talking gun control yesterday.
First, this executive order helps keep firearms out of dangerous hands, as I continue to call on Congress to require background checks for all firearm sales. In the meantime, my executive order directs my Attorney General to take every lawful action possible to move us as close as we can to universal background checks without new legislation. It's just common sense. The executive order also expands public awareness campaigns about the red flag orders, laws. Second thing it does, the executive order ramps up our efforts to hold the gun industry accountable. It's the only outfit you can't sue these days. It does that by calling out for an independent government study that analyzes and exposes how gun manufacturers aggressively market firearms to civilians, especially minors, including by using military imagery.
Tez, let me ask you a question. Will there ever be proper gun legislation when these politicians are in the pockets of these organizations like the NRA?
Well, I would hope so, but as you know, I love to keep it real. Right now, as it stands, and how it's been for a very long time, this is just where the Senate and the Congress has always been just deeply divided. And even when Democrats control both the House and the Senate, we know that Joe Manchin got a strong pimp hand, and so he also was not interested in banning assault rifles. He was looking at one point raising the age from 18 to 21, but they just cannot come together when it comes to banning assault rifles, and that is the main assault weapons. That is the main issue where there's a divide. Now, this particular executive order, like you heard the president say, it is going to help crack down on background checks, try to strengthen that. It will also improve tracking guns and ammunition for things that are lost and stolen. It also gives better transparency for gun dealers and so forth. But bottom line, Charlamagne, the main issue is banning the assault weapons, and that is just something that right now has not happened, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen in the near future. But President Biden said he vows to continue to fight this, but a vow means nothing when you talk about actually getting it done.
And to your point, all you got to do is just look up which senators have benefited the most money from the NRA. You know, because they say majority of Americans want stronger gun laws, but, you know, the NRA has spent over $3 million to benefit political campaigns of senators who oppose gun safety legislation.
But let me ask you a question, Tez, into the room. But I know a lot of these shootings and things happen with illegal guns. So them checking people's backgrounds, does that matter? Like, you know, yesterday in Harlem, there was a couple of students shot in like a 3-school radius. So I'm sure that those people didn't go get legal guns. I know a lot of those guns are coming illegally from the streets, you know?
Oh, absolutely. But those are societal issues that don't start or stop at guns. That's what happens when you don't invest in, you know, the community, when you don't invest in youth services and social services and education and mental health initiatives and other community resources.
Absolutely. It's twofold. And one of the things I always talk about when we talk about this crime and tough on crime, I can put a stop sign, on a street corner. It doesn't mean that nobody's ever going to run the stop sign. You know, right. It is going to happen. The question is, did you put the stop sign at least on the street corner? So laws can only do so much to prevent crime or prevent those types of things. Like you said, criminals are going to get guns. They're not going through the background check process. Right. But we still have to do all we can to make sure that on the legal side, we're doing everything. And like to Charlamagne's point, what are we doing to prevent violence in the community? And that is investing heavily. And that's one of the things I'm concerned about as we move forward in 2024 with this tough on crime that Democrats and Republicans are both in agreement with. They do agree on tough on crime. That's right. And so we're going to see how they're going to spend that money in the community to stop that violence.
Now, also, Bishop Lamont is back in the news. You know, that's the Brooklyn bishop that's been seeing a lot of different controversy going on in the last couple of months.
Yes, Bishop. They call him
the
Bishop.
Why are you smiling, Tez? Why are you smiling?
Well, because the story is hilarious. It's kind of hilarious because they call him, you guys may remember, Bishop Whitehead, known as the Bling Brooklyn Bishop, who was robbed last year, which that's not funny.
That clown.
Yeah. Yes, this is the one that was robbed last year. But now, in the pursuit of more bling, he's been hit with a new fraud charge. And what he did, the reason why I was so tickled is because I couldn't believe I read this. He said that his bank, he went to the bank to get a loan. and said that he had $2 million in the bank when the reality is he had $10 worth of tithes. Yes, $10. I thought I read it wrong. I said, did they mean 10,000? But this man really had $10 in the bank and said that he had $2 million. And he's done this before. In 2018, he tried to get a business loan for $250,000 for his company called Anointing Management. So he submitted fake bank documents on that as well. So the bottom line is he submitted all of these different documents. He tried to get a $1.3 million mortgage for a 6-bedroom home. The charges go on and on. It's as long as the Bible. But the bottom line is he says that he believes that God has his back. And he says that the feds better watch out. So we're going to see what the book of feds has to say about this when it's all said and done.
I can tell you one thing. His criminal history was way more interesting than the Bible.
Yes, it was.
Only God can judge that man.
I only wonder how people do that. I mean, we've all up here tried to get loans to purchase something, whether it's a car or a house or whatever it may be. They go through so much stuff with me. Like, there's no way I can say I got $2 million, only got $10 in the account. So how do some people just get away like that?
They got a friend, the friends that I know, who fixed the paperwork to make it look good. You don't know the people I know.
Oh.
and he says he got a friend in Jesus. So he's been just depending on Jesus all of this time. We're going to see how it works out.
I blame that man, church.
You blame the church?
I blame that church. How come the church wasn't tithing and offering the way they were supposed to on Sunday? That man should have had way more than $10 in his damn bank account.
I read that too, and I said, it got to be $10,000. Nobody got $10.
Right. It was like, what, 10 people in the congregation? They all gave $1.
Tithing and offering, man.
Come on,
man.
He got robbed. It was like 300 people in there when he got robbed that day, wasn't it?
What video you see?
Ain't that the man who got robbed at the church?
Yes.
I thought it was a lot of people.
And it was 300 people there that jumped them bribes.
Only God can judge that man.
Right. All right. Well, wish him the best.
I
Bishop
don't go to
Lamont
church.
Whitehead.
I don't know how many people go now.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our guest host, Miss Pat, with us. And let's get in some front page news as we bring Teslin Figaro back.
The Hood Whisperer. The Hood Whisperer, Teslin Figaro.
That's right, the Hood Whisperer. Good morning, family. Glad to be here.
Now, let's start off with this Mississippi man. They say this Mississippi man went missing, and then when he was found, his head was cut off?
Absolutely. This is this is a heartbreaking story. Rest in peace to Rasheem Carter, 25-year-old Rasheem Carter. Has been trending all over social media. Such a beautiful, handsome black man who his body was found dismembered. Now, what happened with this story is he went missing October of last year at the Super 8 Hotel in Laurel. According to his family, when he vanished, he sought help from the police. He told his mother that 3 truckloads of white guys were trying to kill him. Literally said that he tried to get help. He did not get any help. And then November 2nd, they found his remains. He was found in a wooded area about 21 miles from where he was last reportedly seen. And the problem now is after the family is trying to get justice, authorities have released a statement saying there's no reason to believe foul play was involved.
He was decapitated.
Somebody has to make this make sense. This brother's head was severed from his body. I don't know who in the hell can cut off their own head. His vertebrae, his spinal cord. I mean, he was literally just dismembered into pieces. So what the family is doing now is asking for a federal investigation because obviously local is not getting it right. And I just talked to Attorney Crump just about 10 minutes ago, and he said to stay posted on this story as more develops because more will be coming out here shortly.
Sounds like Mississippi is still burning to me. Racism is built into the very fabric of Mississippi. I don't see how a decapitation don't prompt more of an investigation. That's insane.
That is
Well,
insane.
maybe they don't know what the word decapitation mean down there.
Maybe. You're right.
Jesus Christ.
And remember, we just talked about earlier this week for everybody who's listening, where we talked about that guy burning the cross. You know, that too was in Mississippi. So what the hell is going on in Mississippi?
Oh, Mississippi been like that, though. Y'all ain't never seen the movie Mississippi Burning?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
As a country, we've grown a little bit. Did we leave Mississippi out of this?
Yeah, I think they're behind us, Pat. Miss Pat. I'm sure they are.
So what are they still in 1940 something?
Seems
That's
like
how
it.
they reacting?
Seems like it.
I wouldn't go to Mississippi for nothing.
Now, we also got to switch sides and talk Michael Irvin. I seen him all over the news yesterday. What's going on with Michael Irvin?
Man, this makes my blood boil. I mean, it really, really does. For those of you that have not watched the video, I encourage you to watch it. You guys may remember that Michael Irvin was accused of sexual assault in a Marriott hotel. And so yesterday, Michael Irvin, attorney, has released the video. You can see for yourself that literally he was just talking to this woman. I believe he just touched her elbow and she put her arm back, but they were literally just having a conversation about football. And so he has always maintained his innocence. He has always said that the evidence will come out. But the problem with this is this really, hurt his reputation. At that time, they had pretty much pulled him. I want to say, if I recall, if you guys remember, he was getting ready to do some commentary before the Super Bowl.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they pulled him from that. So now we see that the employee was simply just walking around, having a simple conversation. I thought it was interesting that the attorney pointed out that there was a man, I guess her manager, kind of standing on the side, and appears to just be watching, something strange going on with that, just watching. But eventually they shook hands, they parted ways. It was a simple conversation. And so now Michael Irvin is suing Marriott and the Jane Doe, rightfully as he should, because this has absolutely done damage to his reputation. And I don't know where we are with this, guys. I don't know if black men just need to walk around with body cams 24 hours a day or what, because this is obviously an attempt for a shakedown, in my opinion. Not putting it on the record, but this is just, it's disgusting to see, something like this happen in this case.
So what did she say he did? Because I seen the video. They just looked like they were chatting. And
he said that's exactly what they were doing. But at the hotel, they came up. See, these hotels, anytime they have, anytime, I guess when an NFL team is there, they say, hey, if you see anything strange, let us know. So they called the NFL and said, hey, something, Michael Irvin's been inappropriate. And so NFL security walked him out and he asked, hey, what's going on? What the hell's going on? They said, well, you've been accused of sexual assault, so we need you to leave the hotel.
Wow.
So he was totally taken off guard because he had no idea what they were talking about, because it was literally just a conversation. So again, thank God for the tape to be able to show his innocence.
Well, this is why you can't jump to conclusions, and this is why I hate when people dish out consequences before all the facts are out there.
I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. I hope he sued a tanning lotion off
Me
that
too.
bitch.
Absolutely.
I do.
And I hope this correction is just as loud as the accusation was.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
That's exactly something is mentally wrong with her to think you were sexual assaulted by touching your elbow.
No, she's trying to get a check.
No doubt about it.
Get a check, at least take your shirt off.
God, Jesus.
You can't get one by rubbing your elbow, ma'am.
But she thought that it was like anything else. Like that white woman will be allowed enough to go against that black guy, and they would Michael Irvin, and they would cut her a check. That's what she thought.
Dr. Umar be trying to tell y'all, but no, y'all don't want to listen to the good Dr. Umar.
Well, there is a new drink out there called the Negro and the Caucasian.
What?
Boy, that's a biracial baby, ain't it?
What happened?
Tell us about this drink, the Negro and Caucasian.
Wait a minute, who made
this?
This
is on a lighter note. I know we just got through with both of those stories, but on a lighter note, dozens of employees have walked out of their job in Pennsylvania. Management allegedly wanted to add a drink called the Negro and the Caucasian. Now, the Caucasian drink was, I guess they were doing a play on the White Russian, and there was also talk about the redneck Russian as well. So what's so funny about this is the employees said, we are offended, and I'm certainly not making light of their offense, but they said we're offended by this, and the owner pretty much he doubled down. He said, hey, guess what? Buckle up, because the Negro drink is coming next. So the owner told the staff, hey, feel free to walk out. The staff said, no problem, bet that, we're going to do that. In addition to that, we're going to start a boycott. And so they went on social media, which is a great tool when you're trying to bring awareness. And so eventually he learned that fat does indeed meet greasy, and he issued an apology.
Is it a bar? I mean, is this a Coca-Cola? I mean, not a Coca-Cola product. I mean, is it made a lot of them? Because it sounds like something that they make at a bar.
No, yeah, it is. It's a restaurant. And so they were trying to be creative. Mm-hmm. They're known for having all of these creative drinks. And so they said, hey, let's do the Caucasian and the Negro. And then he got upset. He said, how dare you question me? I've never been racist. There's nothing wrong with me. How dare you Negroes question me about a Negro drink? And he really doubled down. It was really until the employees actually backed up what they said they were going to do and walked out and caused a big fuss on social media that made him eventually apologize. I don't think he means it because he doubled down. But,
What's the
But
Negro drink?
what's wrong with Negro drink and Caucasian
But
drink?
what is the Negro drink,
But
though?
hold on, what was
Right,
the
what's
drink?
gonna be in the
Was
Negro
there a
drink?
Mexican drink before this, an Asian drink? I mean, because this sounded like it had been going on.
But it's
when
he
it
said
got to the
Caucasian drink
and the
Was a right-
Negro,
He says to play on the white Russian.
Right. So what's the Negro drink?
But why? How come white Russian ain't never offend nobody all these years? Like I don't have a problem
Who
with
walked
Negro
out
drinking
first?
Caucasian drink.
So you want a Negro drink? What would be in said
That's what I'm
Negro
saying.
drink?
What's in the
Hennessy?
Negro
That's what I'm saying. If it
Kool-Aid
was
and
watermelon and
Hennessy?
Hennessy, then I can understand.
Nah, I
You know
got a
what I
problem
mean?
with that.
That's a little different.
Chicken
But-
flavor Hennessy, I can't go with that.
And y'all act like it's called Coon Punch and Cracker Juice. If it was
Right,
Coon
but
Punch
if
and
they
Cracker
had a
Juice,
Negro drink and it had Hennessy with watermelon on the side, you wouldn't be offended.
Kool-Aid.
well, I understand that
Is it
watermelon is a
good?
symbol of freedom, but I wouldn't be. It wouldn't
Okay.
offend me. You know what I mean? I got to see what's in the drink. I don't think that just the words Negro and Caucasian offend me. That's
I
not
think
it.
it would bother
Okay,
me.
so
gotta-
you want to see what it is. So you're looking at Negro as just the color of the drink,
It's just
or
a term.
because White Russian is literally white.
Hey, if you want to be technical, I went to a Mexican restaurant. My husband ordered a Modelo. They said, "You want Negro?"
What's a Negro?
The dark.
Oh, the
beer.
dog drink.
Okay.
Oh, word, yeah, okay.
But I think I have a problem. You at the bar and the white person, give me a Negro. Like you would have.
That's better than nigga. Give me 3 niggas. I want 3 niggas neat. I want 3 niggas on rocks.
Oh my goodness.
But it sound like, let's be fair, it sound like they made these offensive drinks before. This ain't the first time.
And it's equal opportunity. Negro drink, Caucasian drink. It ain't like they just singled out the black people.
I mean,
Well,
I think
they've made creative drinks, but he thought since it was already called, the White Russian, why not go ahead and say Caucasian? So they're known, allegedly, from what I read, they're known, to come up with these creative type drinks. And so I guess he figured, hey, if it's good enough for the white folks, it's good enough, for
So,
black folks to call
have you-
the Negro drink. And obviously, maybe it was a good idea. Charlamagne said, that he's not offended. So, but these employees were. They walked out and
Black
they
or
said they
white?
were just uncomfortable asking, I guess going to ask customers, how many Negroes do you want on the rock?
No,
So,
Miss Pat is asking a good question. Did the white people get offended at Caucasian?
it didn't say. It just said that dozens of employees have walked out. It didn't say if they were white or black. It was mainly the employees that had a problem with it. It never made it to the menu. It was just the fact that he brought it up.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened with that.
Okay. Well, thank you, Teslin, for joining
Dang,
us
I
this
wanna
morning.
try
We
that.
appreciate you.
You want to try it?
Absolutely.
How much you
That
want to
sound
try
ice
it?
cold, delicious. Give me 2 of them crackers
All
on the rock.
Give me 2 crackers on the rock.
My goodness. All right.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.